There he is, all the way from the Montreal area. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, now I have to officially say congratulations on wrapping your first feature, because that's a massive accomplishment for any filmmaker.
Yeah.
You know, we're here to talk about your short film, Something Beautiful, today, but that there's something beautiful about crossing the line into making a feature film.
Definitely.
Something Beautiful. You know, I had a chance to see this film. You showed it to me in person in Los Angeles when you came to visit. We know each other through our lovely and talented wives. Tell me in your own words what this film is about.
Well, actually, this film was made as part of the 100-hour film race.
Okay, so that's like a filmmaker challenge.
Yeah, exactly. So you have 100 hours to make to write a film it, edit it, everything. So it was made as part of that, and we had like three different things to put in the film.
So they sort of give you parameters of what you have to include. Yeah,
exactly. Like this one was extra. The theme had to be extrasensory. 2 seconds.
No worries.
Extrasensory perception, and then we had to put in action shaking hands, and then a prop, a doll.
Now they do that. These film. I'm too scared to ever enter any of these 48-hour, 100-hour film contests because I just fear not. I like to take my time, but I think the reason they give you those three sort of parameters is to make sure that you haven't filmed something already and are trying to slide it in and say you did it. They give you these unique and sometimes bizarre things because then they know you have to film it in that 100 hours to make it work.
Yeah, exactly.
Is that a challenge when you're writing with these? Or does it become just a fun part of a way of figuring out how to work them into the story?
Yeah, well, I like to work that way. I like to have like in French no,
it's okay.
But anyway, to have like things that you can't make or you can't do, and you have to build around that.
Yeah,
and it's something I really enjoy. I did it twice. And I enjoyed it's a lot of work and it's a lot of stress, but it's something I really like.
I suppose I should try one because it doesn't sound much different than regular independent filmmaking, where it's like, we don't have this didn't show up today, the sun's setting, we're running out of time, we've just got to figure out a way to get it done. So you're sort of like adapting on the fly, as they say. You've got to figure out how to make it happen even when conditions aren't perfect.
Exactly.
So when you do that, how do you divide your time? You're saying we have 100 hours. Are you like, we better be done writing by day one because we need to be shooting on day two? Like what's the pressure like of putting that together?
But you have to be prepared for sure. You have you need to have a good team surround you. The way I work like the 2 times I did it is I prepared myself for pretty much 2 weeks every time. So I built my team. I looked for actors. I looked for locations, and then I'm ready with a package of stuff that I will work with.
Yeah,
I will use some and don't use other, but
it's sort of like here's all my Lego bricks, and then I'm going to use. I know I can use certain ones and figure something out in that time span.
Exactly. And then for Something Beautiful, that what was very special is I think the contest started the Thursday, and then I think on Wednesday morning a friend called me and asked me, would you like to go film in that abandoned hospital in Montreal? So so
like, can we do that today? Yeah.
So exactly, so all the locations I had like locked up for the contest, I just pushed them, and
it's an amazing location. It looks so great on camera. And I want to ask you about that. You know, especially knowing it was done in this pressure cooker of a 100-hour film contest, the film looks fantastic. Like the cinematography, the lighting, just the atmosphere and the camera movement, everything is very, very high quality, where there are filmmakers that could plan for 6 months and not get the same results. So when you're what are like the biggest pieces of advice, or how do you achieve that level of sort of cinematic quality given all of the restrictions that you have in place? What do you think is key to still making something look beautiful, even without all the bells and whistles of gear? Yeah.
Well, first, of course, there's the team. I had an awesome cinematographer,
Mm-hmm.
and the rest of the team was really into that. They wanted to make a good film.
Yeah.
So that helped. We had the chance to have a crane and a crane operator, so it gives good shots. But really, it's about the team and the actors, of course, because like Catherine, my partner, she's playing in the film and she's awesome. And Mathieu, who's a friend of mine, who also plays the other character. I think it's just you have to work well. I don't know how to say it.
It works or it doesn't sometimes, right? It's they call it, you can call it a vibe, you can call it just a sense of work ethic, or a team effort of everybody. I guess it's like I don't watch hockey, forgive me, Canada, but like you need all the players playing the same game and trying to put the puck in the same direction, because the minute that one person's lazy or one person's too tired or anything, the game's not going to go your way. Yeah.
Well, it happened, and then you have other person that do the job at their place, and that's okay, because there's always some. But in the end, the group was very tight. It was very fun. It was exhausting, and it was the first time. Me and my partner, we have a small now 5.5 years old. And then we thought we could do anything like before, but then we had that 1-year-old little baby at home. During that, and I was directing, Catherine was playing, and we were writing the script also. And we had to bring someone that just took care of her baby during that time. And that was that was something. It's always it's like a war, or like you say, a hockey game. And I
can't manage having my dog on sets. Having a child is something I don't know if I would still be making films. I commend any of my friends that have children and still have the energy to make films and work on film sets all day long. My hat's off to you. I don't know how you accomplish it.
And for the feature, my daughter, she was there for the 5 weeks. We hired a nanny, but still. So
that's great. You don't have to be away for 5 weeks at a time, which is nice. Now, Catherine and yourself, you also co-wrote this and produced it together, as well as her acting in it. I got to know Catherine over the last several years with her friendship with my wife Sarah, and Sarah and I work together all the time. What's is there a benefit or a sort of like a shorthand in communication working with your partner versus just working with an actor that you've hired? Do you find that it's easier to sort of communicate and just understand what each other are trying to get out of any scene?
Definitely, we have the same goal, and we kind of think alike. We finish sentences and stuff like that. And the communication is just perfect when we work together. It's easy. She knows what I want, and she understands what I'm asking all the time. So I have to work less with her when she works, and she's so good that I don't have that much work to do with her. It's
they say, what is it? 80% of a director's job is casting the right people in the role. And then your job is that much easier. Now with this film, so 100-hour film challenge, how many of those hours are spent actually filming the project? Like, how many hours did you film for roughly?
If I remember well, I think we shot for 2.5 days.
Okay. So that's half your time is production. Is that including the writing as well, or the writing was?
No. Well, we did a little bit of writing ongoing.
Okay.
Pretty much correcting stuff. But the way we worked, if I remember well, it's the Thursday at 8 p.m. They send us instruction, and then we were at my house, and we were like maybe half the team there, and we received the instructions, and then we did brainstorm and stuff like that. We picked the story, and then we wrote it, and during the night, the morning after we start filming, we I didn't sleep for the 100 hour, that's for sure. So that's why it's 2.5 days, but it's the work is always, it's continuing. And then we had an editor at home that started working, as we shot.
So basically, as you would fill a camera card, of data, you could hand it to the editor, and they could begin with whatever pieces they already had.
Yeah, exactly.
Which I feels like, listen, I think you're preparing yourself for making Hollywood movies, because half the time I see them announce a release date, July 23rd, 2022, and I'm like, they haven't started filming yet. Like that seems insane to me. But I feel like you're probably working very much the same way, that like the minute you roll a take, it's probably camera assistants taking that card over to the editor and saying, you better get started because we release in a year.
Yeah. Well, I'd like that. I hope I work that well.
You will. I have no doubt in that. Some of the colors in this film are really interesting, like the greens and the red, and like really amplifying that. It's interesting because it's a very stylized sort of like psychological thriller. Old mental hospitals and old hospitals in movies tend to have just a very dark look with pockets of light. But was there sort of a story reason or something thematic in the colors that you chose, and why you wanted to light it that way?
Seriously, I'm it's more, at that time my DP was really into that, so he made test, and I agreed with this because I thought it was very nice. So there's nothing like more than that. He was into that.
how much of, when you make something that's thriller based, how much of it is based on what you do in post-production and sound design? Like those moments where Catherine's character is seeing the flashes of things in the hospital, how do you approach the sound effects and the sound design to really sort of like give the audience what you want to happen in any scene?
Well, in this case, it's difficult to go into details because it all goes so fast.
Yeah.
That it was more building, the atmosphere, the sound atmosphere, like right away, and that's good. No, put this like that, and playing with Christopher at that time. Well, it was actually two Christophers, the editor and the sound editor, but it's more by feeling. For this film in particular, if I go,
you're I guess doing something on such a tight deadline, you're forcing yourself to trust your instincts
exactly
more than having the time to think about option A, B, and C.
Exactly.
And when you do this in such a crunch time frame, do you look back at it and think, oh, there's a million things I'd want to change? Or are you just like,
well, I like this one for sure because, but we just had 8 minutes 30 seconds to do it.
Yeah.
And I still have the whole footage of the film. And, like many people that did film, I wish I could do a director's cut one day, because I think the film would be a little better if it was something like 10-11 minutes. I know I have other footage that we could have used, but we couldn't at this time. So every time I watch it, I think there's a few shots I know I did that I would love to have in the film, but it was impossible to put them and keep the story solid. So
I don't know who said the quote. I've only seen George Lucas say it, which is ironic because he doesn't follow this rule, but he was quoting somebody and saying, great art is never finished, it is only abandoned. Meaning we put it out to the world, but we could always go back and do more and do more. And I think that's part of a director's job, and having a vision is something, is sort of knowing when to stop, when to step away from the canvas and say, the audience is going to enjoy this, and I now risk tinkering with it too much that I might end up doing something to make the film less great than where it is right now. And I think sometimes that's a very hard hard thing to decide when something is done.
Yeah, exactly.
Unless you're at hour
case.
99 and you've got 1 hour to turn it in, then you know it's done.
Exactly.
Awesome. That's all the questions for today. We'd like to keep this pretty short and sweet and just give the audience a chance to get to know you and everybody watching. If you're not already subscribed to Reveal, Reveel'd.net, go check it out. Go check out Something Beautiful. And there's plenty of other great short films. It's free to sign up. Doesn't cost you a thing. And it's just a wonderful platform to give you another option in your entertainment watching, and check out some awesome independent features, documentaries, short films. And it was amazing to see your film on there, because I didn't even know it was submitted. I was just clicking through one day, and it's fun because I've been hosting this for a while. So every once in a while I get to see a friendly face on here, and somebody that I already have a pretty good insight into the film. So I can I excitedly tell the audience things that I want to know about the film as well.
Cool. Well, thank you for the opportunity. It was nice.
No problem at all. And listen, if you get that director's cut finished, you send it over to Reveal, and then we'll have a whole other discussion to talk about the two versions of the film.
Well, maybe in a few years.
Yes.
When I get bored.
Get back into the editing room. You've got a feature to finish.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you.
All right. We'll talk to you soon.